You're listening to episode 7 of the Women's Fitness Podcast with Kelly Bakewell PT and Izzy Lawrence. The information in this podcast should not be taken instead of medical advice. We are not doctors, just passionate about fitness, progress and feeling good. You can find out more about us at womensfitnesspodcast.com, but for now, time for some real talk about the mess, stress and silliness that will get you achieving your goals. You're listening to episode, what is it, 6, 7? 6, 7, 7.
6, 7.
6 or 7 of the Women's Fitness Podcast. Now, I am here with Kelly Bakewell PT and her little friend.
She's not little. She's taller than me. Sounds like I've got an imaginary friend now.
Well, the amount of drugs that you've been taking in the last couple of weeks.
I know, she's my support animal. Yeah.
So, do you want to introduce yourself? Because we're going to hear you. Yeah, go on.
So, just there you are.
I'm Jo. I'm Kelly's client and friend.
Yeah,
Jo.
Started off as a client.
Excellent. Wow. Is that how you make... See, we're friends without being clients, but you have trained me technically.
Yeah. I like to take her around as like a walking testimonial as to how good I am. I go, Joanna, tell everyone how good I am.
How good she is she really?
Damn good.
Yeah.
Damn good. Wow.
Damn good.
So what's your sort of fitness story?
Oh God, I started out a couple of years ago. Really, I used to be about a size 18, 20.
You've lost so much weight, haven't you?
And lost. My heaviest I was 94 kilos. My lightest I was 68 and a half.
Wow.
I'm sitting at about a 73 right now, but I'm okay with that mostly.
Yeah.
I got to a point where I was injured and I was going to council gym, and the guy that was setting up my plan or whatever just obviously was cookie cutter setting it up, because I told him where the injuries were and obviously he wasn't listening to me. So I started looking around for someone that I could work with, and found Kelly.
Yeah.
And then Kelly moved down to London. I was extra happy.
Yeah. And then I moved out of London in a minute.
So you're London based?
Yeah.
And what do you do in real life?
I work in social media for an accountancy firm.
Whoa!
No, accountants have social media.
Every childhood dream.
Who knew?
Using my degree every day.
So I was thinking social media, that's kind of cool. Accountancy firm. Oh.
Yeah, it starts out good.
Yeah, living the dream.
Indeed. So guys, what we're going to chat about today, because we could talk about you humping the Smith machine.
Yeah, I did do that.
And then you put a video on OneFitPod, on the Women's Fitness Podcast group on Facebook, of you humping the Smith machine, suggesting that we all do this.
Yeah, it's good for your humping skills. That's all it's for. It's pelvic floor muscles.
No, it's good for your handstand breakfalls.
Yeah, that too.
I had to do those yesterday. One went badly, the other one went good.
Oh well.
And as soon as I only saw the second one, so yay!
Winning.
First one I nearly died.
Denial knowledge of the first one. Didn't happen. Yeah, I mean, there's a running joke now in the gym with my clients where they feel like they can spot one of my other clients by if they are doing something that looks just weird.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's just Kelly's client over there, like kicking her leg about like a weirdo. Yeah, that's all. Because if you want to isolate a muscle, you have to get in some really weird positions, because otherwise your other muscles will try and take over. So the hump in the Smith machine is a glute bridge. And you tend to use a little bit less of your quads when you're doing a hip thrust. So you are basically just like humping it.
Yeah, that's good.
Instead of having to drag the bar out, then drag all of the weights out, which you have to put back away. Then having to put them back away. If you got the Smith machine, you just bung them on the ends.
Yep.
Get yourself one of those cushiony things. I don't know why I just did squeezy hand.
I think the cushiony things is important.
Very important.
I've graduated. See, when I first started doing just back squats, just normal squats. I used to use pads because I was so bony that it would hurt. And now I use like nothing. I have the iron bar on my lady shoulders.
Amazing.
I know.
I don't let anyone start off. I don't let them have a pad. Unless it's hip thrusts, they can have a pad. I was
literally, it was just resting on my spine because I had quite curvy forward shoulders and it wasn't good. So I was very happy with the pad, and now I don't use it. Now I don't need it because I'm a big girl.
Congratulations.
Grown up.
Yeah, it's because like everyone wants big glutes. Mm-hmm. That's like the thing at the minute.
And we cannot lie.
Yeah, exactly. And
I like big.
Sorry, it's just a nice.
Has everyone ever done?
Anatomically correct.
Yeah. But you can't. It's difficult to do it without getting bigger quads and hamstrings. You can get that to some effect.
But I think bigger quads and hamstrings looks good.
I like it, but there are a lot of women that don't. And if you're training people for aesthetics, obviously that's the market that I'm in. So I have to get around and figure out certain moves that are going to stimulate glutes growth without hitting too much quad. Like my quads are massive because I didn't know.
They're
about
not. They're good. They
they're
look
pretty
nice.
big.
Your quads look excellent.
Well,
They
I've quad
look
off. Yours are amazing.
Well, exactly. Let's just
quad
go.
appreciation.
Oh no. Okay, on Friday I was in Guildford. Okay, in front of the poshest audience you could possibly imagine. It was literally like, anybody got any pets? What about you, sir? What do you have? I have a horse. Okay. That sort of
I have
level
a
of
giraffe called
But
Jeff.
got off stage and one woman said to me, "Well, you obviously lift weights," and I'm like. Nobody said that to me before. They just go, "Oh, you look like you're made out of spaghetti." That's what I usually say. But no, that was that was my hamstring apparently in skinny jeans that they saw.
Ooh.
So I have a little curve at the back of my leg.
I love that hamstring curve.
Oh,
Like for me, I love
Mm.
it. But obviously, you've got to train for people's aesthetics, and isolating muscle groups. You have to get in some weird positions. So that's
Yeah.
pretty much what I'm famous for, is making people. But that kind of leads on nicely to the next thing we can talk about, which is confidence in the gym. You had
Yes.
that message.
Yeah, we had a message, and I'm sorry I don't have it. I don't have it up, as it were, here. I could lift it above my head and then sort of rock back and forth while kicking myself in the face or something, which is the sort of thing that Kelly would make us do.
Yeah, basically.
But confidence in the because it's particularly bad when you first go to the gym and you just don't know how any of the machine works.
Yeah.
So you can basically work out how to get on a treadmill and then you're stuck doing cardio
I've
forever.
fallen off a treadmill.
That's not confidence, is it?
Oh no, but I don't go near them now.
Really, you're scared of them.
Scared of treadmills.
I
I'm
like
like,
the cross trainer.
oh, I hate the cross
Oh no, I
trainer.
quite like that.
Cross trainer.
Oh, so boring.
But one of the people, Nikki, that wrote on Kat's status, had said, really good point, book in a couple of sessions with a PT. Even if, obviously I would rather have long-term clients, but
Yeah.
if you need some help and you want like a few sessions just to be shown how things work, do that. Like, it will help you immensely.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I only train women is because I see such a change in them mentally from when they first step in the gym to even like just about 4 or 5 weeks later. They've got themselves addicted to like lifting weights, having a bit of muscle, changed their mind completely from going, oh, I don't want to lift things, to one of my clients the other day, she's like, I've just done 100 kilograms on a rack pull. I'm just like,
Nice.
film it. And when she first came in, she was like, oh, well, I don't really want to get that too much.
Don't want to get bulky.
She wasn't sure what she wanted. And then it's kind of I work very intensely with them with confidence. So I make them stand in front of the mirror after a couple of weeks and they're confident doing the moves. I get them to stand in front of the mirrors in the weight section of the gym and do what I call like the big guns movements. So because they're the ones where your muscles look the best when you're doing it. And I'm like, look at yourself in the mirror, look at what you've made. And they're like, yeah, look at what I've made. It's like if you're doing like lateral raises, you get a nice little shoulder cap and it looks really good. If you're doing like a bent over dumbbell fly where you look like you're doing a reverse hug.
I hate those so
Yeah,
much.
they hurt. But they make your arms look amazing in the
Make
mirror.
your face look awful.
Well, yeah. But this is like a confidence thing. So it's like learning to look at yourself in the mirror, because I was like really shocked at how many women I train who are like, oh no, I don't look in mirrors. I'm like, what? How do you know what you're doing? Like, your form and everything. And they look at the floor and I'm like, just be proud. And once you've done a couple of ridiculous moves that I've made you do, or like crack out some happy baby moves,
Describe Happy Baby. Just describe it audially and see if we can picture this.
so you lie on your back, stick your feet in the air and your hands in the air, then you curl your fingers round your toes or trainers, and then you just rock slightly side to side.
Side to side, not back and forth.
Well, you can do either, but side to side is kind of a massage in the spine.
See, I reckon if I did that, I would just timber.
You look like a spider crab.
I would really look. I'd look like a poop. Yeah, I don't think. Have you got your knees bent a
Yeah.
bit? Yeah.
It's exactly like when babies are like,
Holding their feet.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly that.
Hence baby hold.
Yeah, so once you've done like a few embarrassing moves in the gym, nobody cares what they look
Also, when you farted loudly.
like. Yeah, I've never
That's-
done that.
Oh, haven't you?
No,
Really?
I don't do that in public.
Yoga,
or in front
yoga
of
class
other people.
farts.
Yoga class, you haven't been training hard enough. Particularly bad. It's particularly bad, and it happens if you're doing one of like a circuit thing.
I've never even done it in front of my boyfriend or
Really?
anyone that I know.
Don't
This is my
think
dirty secret.
This is. I do not believe this is
And
biologically
honest to God,
possible.
never have. I don't know
Wow.
how.
Wow.
Yeah. I must like have so much gas inside me. It's
I
just
don't,
like dying.
or you've trained your glutes that much that you can hold it in forever.
I think it's that, and then my body just reabsorbs.
No
it or
wonder you
something.
feel bloaty.
I know.
Right, somebody has got to go up to Kelly and just squeeze her until it happens.
Yes, of course.
I don't want to be that person.
Don't do it from behind, because there's a good chance like you'll either be judo thrown or like elbowed in the face.
That happened to a friend of mine who was walking on the
I've
street.
genuinely done that before.
Yeah, two guys. A guy had actually come up to attack him and just grabbed him around the shoulders and immediately hip-oned him.
Yeah, my friend did the same thing when I was younger. Came up and grabbed me from behind, straight over the shoulder.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
It's what you learn in Jitsu.
Yeah, just to...
We're just cool. We're
As
superheroes.
soon as someone touches
Yeah,
you
I
on the
learned-
floor.
I went and did Krav Maga
Ah.
to learn how to get out of holds, because after that freak guy followed me home one day.
Yeah.
I went and took a couple of classes of Krav Maga just to get away.
Yeah.
I would honestly recommend some sort of martial arts or boxing. Like, I start off a lot of my training courses, training with clients with a bit of boxing. Just, especially with that whole, like, Me Too thing that's going on Facebook
Oh
at the
God,
minute.
yeah, everybody.
It's depressing the hell out of me, because it like
it
stirs
doesn't-
up old feelings, and I think it's a bit of a trigger.
It doesn't.
I
it
struggle
doesn't-
with it as a trigger.
Yeah, I guess it's different for different people. But
I see it as sort of, well, I kind of assume everybody.
yeah, exactly.
I think at this point, yeah, it is
But
almost like
depends-
if you haven't, you're weird
Yeah,
now.
But then it's like the levels. You're like, well, was it
Right.
just someone that catcalled you or touched your bum, or
Yeah.
was it something that's like full on top of the scale?
It's anything that wouldn't happen if
If you're a
were-
guy,
Yeah, pretty much.
basically.
I
but
just-
it does happen to them. Obviously, I'm not
It
saying it
does.
doesn't.
No. I do kind of wish that, you know, and I don't wish this at all, but it would be very interesting to see men surrounded by large groups of very strong, big homosexual men who are predatory.
Yeah.
And see how they bloody well like it.
Well, even walking to work last night, I walked past B&M, which is right next to the
Where you
the
work.
gym. I had on my gym leggings, like a jacket, a gym top, everything covered up. I had on my glasses, and I walked past, and there were these two teenage lads, and they're like, "Woohoo, hey!" And I'm like, "I am 20 years older than you. Behave yourself." I was like,
Oh, I've got chatted on the bus by a 14-year-old before now.
I had that. Some
Yeah.
kid biking by my road, and I went, "I'm old enough to be your mum."
"You're like, what are your mum and dad's teaching you? Like that it's all right to just shout at people in the street?" Like,
I think
Right.
that might be YouTube, not mum and dad.
well, yeah, possibly.
That's the thing.
Hmm.
But also, you know, when you're a kid, you have to sort of, you know, you're finding your voice. You're trying to. You're basically pushing boundaries.
But they're learning from
The
it's
wrong
learned
people.
behaviour.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't just wake up one day and just suddenly start doing it.
No,
So
that's
it's
true.
definitely like what we're
Someone's
teaching people.
someone's taught
Yeah.
them something.
But I would definitely recommend that women. It's a horrible thing to have to do, but just
It's
learn
not,
to
it's
defend
fun.
yourself. I love it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just getting a bit of aggression out. Like, I have a couple of clients who are teachers, and they come in a boxing. I'm like, you're gonna knock my head off, aren't you?
Yeah. I was getting boxed at by men last night, and it's, you know, they had boxing gloves on, and the idea is that you basically weather the first 3 or 4 punches
Yeah.
and then go move in. And of course, a man punching you quite gently is a woman punching you quite, you know, at a reasonable pace. And it's me, and I'm spindly, and it was just like, ah! It's impossible to keep your posture. Talking of, though, that I've noticed, I think it's probably just because I'm older and a bit more, I think it has got to do with Jitsu and my posture being better, so I look more confident. And
Yeah, it's shoulders back.
Yeah,
You're less
shoulders
likely to
back.
be like. You're definitely less likely to be attacked or anything like that if you look confident. If you've got shoulders back and you look like you're gonna give someone a bit of like bother back, they'll tend to. If you look a bit intimidating,
I mean, you have to feel sorry for muggers and rapists and things, because they might get hurt.
I would destroy them.
Exactly. This is the thing. I mean, it's difficult being a mugger.
I'm an angry person.
Like, imagine it. You have to, okay, even if you're armed, you've got to make sure the person you're mugging, you know, doesn't attack you back. And
Yeah.
you're basically asking for a fight. And it's you know, if you just go boo at them, I reckon they'd run away.
Yeah.
I think the majority of them, because, you know, I've had to approach people with clipboards in shops before, and that
People
was
are
hard.
terrified, aren't they?
They are. It's a horrible thing. See, it's rejection. And to be
Muggers don't want to be rejected.
exactly.
Aw.
Muggers want to be
Poor
feared.
babies.
Yeah.
But
Muggers have feelings too.
I think the best advice that I was ever given, which is by one of my senseis who is a police officer, if it's if you're going to be attacked and you're most in danger from people you know anyway, but if you get mugged in the street, throw your wallet down to their left hand side and then flee.
Yeah, because that's what they're at. Yeah, I read that.
Because left hand side, they can't get it. Also, if they say things like get in the car, don't. If they say things like be quiet, shout. If they say things like don't run, run.
Yeah, I've seen a thing like if they're armed, if they've got a gun, run away in zigzag. Mm-hmm. It's actually quite hard.
It's not even run away in zigzag because it's really hard to shoot somebody once they're about 20 metres away.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's that first 20 metres.
Yeah, don't freeze. Basically, don't freeze. Do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is how you get along in a mugging, but a mugging's less intimidating than the gym.
Yeah, so
wear what you like. I think that's important. Wear what you like. Yeah. Don't feel pressured into looking a certain way.
No.
Like Kelly always is doing like her job first and then comes into the gym with beautiful makeup and amazing hair and often walks around in a sports bra and just leggings.
Yeah.
I tend to come in old leggings, sometimes inside out, baggy t-shirt. Yeah. Occasionally I wear my nice ones, but I hardly ever wear makeup and my hair's always floppy and rubbish.
It's usually because like my sessions are at the end of the day, so I've probably done something during the day and I'm taking my makeup off to go to the gym.
Nope.
I've got it on. I don't put it on specifically to go to the gym, but I wouldn't take it off to go to the gym.
I think people, if they want to put it on to go to the gym, should.
If that gives them the confidence to go to the gym, go.
And also, there's something good about looking yourself in a mirror as you're working out and going, oh yeah.
I mean, I would sweat that right off.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, but sweaty Izzy is a sexy Izzy, I reckon. That has to correlate.
Yeah. I mean, it is just like, and the thing is, when you feel like self-conscious, you imagine people are staring at you as well.
Yeah.
And they're probably not.
Yeah.
Like, even if I accidentally catch someone's eye, I'm probably like looking past them because I'm like, I can't see straight because I've just lifted so much like weights. I've like gone a little bit mental.
And also, like, if you catch me staring at you in the gym, it's either usually because there's something about what you're doing that I admire, rather than I don't like to see anybody doing something wrong because it makes me wince. So
I tell that to my clients because they're like, I don't really want to go in the guys part of the gym. And I'm like, why? And they went, oh, well, they're so intimidating. Like, they know what they do. And I'm like, no, they don't.
No,
I work in a gym and I watch them all the time going, mate, what are you doing? But because they do it confidently, everyone's like, oh, well, they know what they're doing. I'm like, no, they don't. What part of their body are they working out, throwing that dumbbell about?
I was made to do push-ups yesterday in Jiu-Jitsu because I had to teach a move I didn't know very well, a ground hold called Yoko Shiogatami. Not Oshiro Yoko Shiogatami, which is what I started teaching before getting told off. Anyway,
I have done that.
In this, and in this, I sort of gave my advice and I sort of joked about a bit whilst giving it, saying I'm not really any good. But I managed to pin a fully grown man who's bigger and heavier than me, and because I didn't show the confidence in it, everybody did it their own way.
Oh.
When the good thing, and then you corrected them and it worked, and then. There was a sensei there who was going around and going, no, do it this way because this is my way and I've got massive biceps that can cope against a lady quad.
Yeah.
So, you got what for Yoko Shiogatami, the trick is get your bicep in their bits.
I mean, that's good advice.
That is good
if you're
advice.
thinking of doing that move at any time.
Just isolate, so you don't have to deal with that leg because it's always going to be stronger.
I remember one of the moves I was the most embarrassed about having to do because when I was younger I was much more embarrassed about working out than I am now, and it was you had to put a knee on either side of the person you're holding down's head, and I was one of the only girls. There was only like about 4 girls in the whole judo class, so it was a guy. So I've got basically my bits on his face, because then you've got to go over the top of them and hold their belt to pin them on the floor. So you're basically in a very odd 69 position. Mm-hmm. And I was about 15 going, oh yeah, my face is in a guy's bit, his face is in my bit, and my boobs are here. This is rubbish. And you've got to hold them there. And I'm like, well, they've got to try and struggle out. I'm like, and he's rubbing his bit on my face.
That is literally.
That is like...
It's glamorous.
Yeah.
So that one, what I do, you see, is, never mind the bits, I use my hips to turn their head and then drive my hip bone into their temple. It works very well.
I was just concerned about their bits touching my face, but I was only like 15 at the time, so I was much more concerned about that.
Well, you can get pregnant like that. I'm pretty sure
you could get pregnant like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That happens.
Exactly.
But I do think there is a difference if you're a teenager than if you're a woman.
Yeah.
Because if you're a teenager, in particular, I think other teenagers are judgy and they are mean.
Yeah, totally.
So
if I'm going to get judged in the gym, it's probably going to be by like one of the under like 20-year-olds.
yeah, exactly.
If I get stared at funny.
I turn up at the gym with furry arms, furry armpits, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So.
Stubbly legs occasionally. Wow,
Not
sexy.
bothered.
Exactly. It's
Well done.
nobody.
Yeah.
Hey,
A little bit.
little bit of
Check.
stubble there.
Yeah,
We can
under.
strike a match.
Yeah, probably.
But
That is not shaving level yet, though.
But I mean, I think the confidence is it's once it's knowing what you're doing, and also being open to going up to the people who work in the gym and saying, "Help."
Yeah, because we're not horrible. Well,
Well,
I'm not.
Yeah, I was going to say some of them are, but you can bully them. But no, it is about just, you know, it is a new environment.
And
No.
I read a quote that was kind of like, make your goal bigger than your fear.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want it bad enough, just go and do it and just ignore everyone else.
Mhm.
Like, even if they do look at you, like, you're probably never going to see him again.
Exactly.
Or if you do, just stare them down and go, what?
Exactly. I do think though there is the danger if you're sort of looking about and looking, you might get unsolicited advice, which is probably not best to take.
Oh, I've
Almost
got
like-
headphones on.
Yeah.
Kind of deters them a little bit.
Headphones.
And go, what? No, honey.
Yeah. But yeah, don't put up with a guy coming up to you and saying
You're
Hey.
doing something wrong.
exactly, because like as not he's doing something wrong.
Yeah, exactly that.
Like talking to somebody when they're training.
Yeah, big no-no.
Mm.
Unless you're going to ask them how many sets they've got left.
Exactly, which is fine.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
bad.
Excellent. Any other tips for being comfortable in a gym?
Mm.
I think just, you know, just don't take it too seriously.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
it's supposed to be kind of fun as well. Like, find
Yeah.
something that you like doing, put your head down and just do that.
yeah.
I just think it just takes that little bit of breaking that barrier. I mean, some of the better sessions I've had is where I've actually asked a guy to spot me,
Mm.
and it's like they don't care.
No.
They're
They're-
probably,
in fact, they
well happy to spot you, frankly.
Yeah, and that you've just gone a little bit in there of respect, like, anyway, because you've actually asked for them to help spot. So they're like, so she's doing a weight that's a bit heavier for her. Because that's the thing, like, I think they just think girls are going to come in and fanny about and try and make things look pretty.
Yeah.
It's like if I'm going to do like bench press, I generally will ask someone to spot me because I'm a little bit afraid of dropping a weight on my face.
Yeah.
Or on my
Why?
neck.
I mean, what could be the...
I'd rather not kill myself.
I don't do bench press hardly ever without... I do it as part of my PT, but I always use dumbbell press when I'm doing it.
I do
myself.
both. Because
I
they
quite
get
like bench
slightly
press.
different areas.
They are.
'cause
I
they do,
really like
incline.
doing it, but it's like if I want to try and push myself harder, like I really do need someone to
Yeah.
spot
Yeah,
me
yeah,
because
definitely.
otherwise I'm screwed.
Yeah,
Or squished.
squished,
Yeah.
definitely squished.
I'm not kidding.
I think so. Just, you know, try not to wiggle so much. Cool. So is that everything covered in that one?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Okay, moving on. Have you got a question for us? Get in touch on Facebook. Find us on Instagram using the hashtag WOMFITPod. That is WOMFITPOD. And on Twitter at WOMFITPod. Or go to the website womensfitnesspodcast.com. Hopefully that worked. Right, what are we going to talk about next, Kelly?
High intensity, why it works.
Yeah, because I watched this video, which is kind of by a guy who's a bit BSy, but only a little bit BSy, and he had loads of cool science explaining how like sugar intake into cells happens.
I love science.
I love science too, but he's you know, he's one of these people who's on the fringe because he's very, you know, he's in with a certain crowd of low carb paleo people,
Oh, okay.
which is what was it and. I'm just not a scientist, so I
There's
just
always
do
a bit
not
of a
know.
spin on it as well. You're like,
Yeah.
what angle are you getting at with this?
Exactly, but did you watch the video I was talking about?
I watched a bit of it, yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, it was. I
thought.
need to sit down and have like a good look at it. We
Yeah.
should put the video up on the page.
We'll put the video up on the page and start a debate, because I do think there is a sort of, you know,
There's some takeaway points from it, but I'm
Yeah.
not convinced on all that's like,
yeah. Well, basically his point was that once you've filled up the glycogen, so your sugar stores in your liver and your sugar stores in your muscles, there's pretty much no way that your cells can use sugar you eat to break down and use for energy, and it all gets stored as fat.
which is pretty much true.
Which is pretty much true. So the idea is that you don't ingest very much sugar, so you can ingest other stuff but just not sugar, or fructose in particular, and you use high intensity training to get rid of the stores of glycogen in your muscles and in your liver, because that's the thing that, stops the whole metabolic system processing the food.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I still believe in calories in, calories out.
Well, that's what that's definitely the overall riding thing. But if you were doing your high intensity training, then you are reducing you're increasing the amount of calories burned.
Mm-hmm.
So that level is burning more calories anyway. So that's like the second energy level.
But he's talking about like doing one interval training session a week of
you
8
only
minutes.
you only need to do 1 or 2. Like, my client came in the other day and she's going on holiday in a couple of weeks, so we're stepping up. We've started to do about 15 minutes of high intensity at the start of every session. And she had her Fitbit on, and I was like, I was really interested. She's used it for a while, so it's calibrated to her. So I was like, right, let's see how many calories you burn. And realistically, because of we did some CrossFit style interval training, so it was 15 minutes, but only 10 minutes of work, and she burnt 135 calories
Wow.
in 10 minutes.
Wow.
So
That's a lot.
yeah,
And is she like 100 kilos?
She's she's quite slim. She's probably about 61, 62 kilograms.
That's pretty good. So
Yeah, I mean, she worked her arse off, obviously, and I had designed quite a good little high intensity thing to do. But basically, you've got the 10 to 20 seconds is your phosphate creatine system.
Okay.
Then the next one is when you go into lactic acid and the glycolysis one.
Okay.
So that's the one that he was talking about. If you are like a superstar, that can last for like 10 minutes. If you're like a highly trained
that's like me.
sports
That's
person,
awesome.
you can be in that phase for quite a long time. Realistically, if you're not, that is the time that you are probably going to feel sick. You know, when you get that sudden sickness when you've been working out really hard.
Yeah.
Because your blood pH levels drop.
It is always a lovely thing when in a jiu-jitsu grading when you're sat around the edge because you've just been doing like a circle or something like that, and the guy next to you is just going.
Yeah.
You think, please don't puke all over the
Oh,
mat.
I have symptomatic vomiting syndrome. So if I hear or see someone else be sick, I'm like, no, I'm going to be sick instantly. I'm like, oh.
You're just following the fashion.
Yeah, I know.
It's a
I
trend
like
thing.
I like to catch on to things. But if you are going to feel sick, it'll probably be in that time.
Okay.
So that's
Do you know what that is, by the way?
pH.
Do you know why that is? It's an evolutionary thing from when we were monkeys. In that
So we can eat it again.
No. It's not even that. It's that if you vomit all over yourself, you're less likely to be eaten.
Oh.
Creatures still do it,
That's disgusting.
Yeah, exactly. You make yourself as minging as possible just so the thing goes, I'm not that
Well,
hungry.
that's what sloths do, isn't it? They cover themselves in slime and algae and stuff. So they don't. I mean,
and they only poo once a week.
I know, but if you were that slow, it'd probably take you that long to get down the tree.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're obviously not tapping into their systems.
Apparently, though, this is another fun fact. Everybody, no matter what animal with its size, takes the same time to poo and wee. It's almost exactly the same.
Isn't it? I'd like to time this.
I know. I'd say it depends if they've got anything to read or not.
Yeah, and it depends on, I guess, how much you've drank. Because I definitely have gone to the toilet for much longer if I've drank quite a lot of liquid.
Yeah, I think there is a difference between men and women in this. In that, I think men might have healthier bowels.
I think men don't wee anywhere near as much as women.
No,
at all.
Well,
I have to go to the toilet every 10 minutes, especially special times of the month.
Have you checked your prostate? Maybe it's.
Let's just get right in there.
I think it depends. It depends. I think it depends on. Like when I was a kid, I flew to Australia by myself. 26-hour flight. Didn't go to the loo once because I was scared of the toilets. Because I'm clever.
Just in case you got sucked out throughout the plane.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I still kind of think that once that door shuts, do you know if it's dropped out the plane or not until you open the door again? Oh. Anyway, what was my point? My point was something. Shut up! I'm gonna find my way back to it. We were talking about men.
Sloths.
No, we were talking about because a man will go to the bathroom and he'll take my dad, stepdad and stuff, would take a book.
Yeah.
And they'd have a nice, gentle, 20-minute
It's just a bit of time for themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and I
meditation.
exactly. I think almost every woman I know really sort of, doesn't take time in the bathroom. I don't think that's good for you.
It's because they don't want anyone to think they're having a poo.
Exactly. And I think this is
straight in, straight out.
It's ridiculous.
And cough and run the tap while you're down the toilet.
I know, exactly.
God, yeah.
But I just in my head, I think this is bad.
I have a really weird thing where I'm convinced people are listening to me wait. So if someone else is in the toilets, I'm like, I don't think I've got toilet.
Yeah. Well, men have that as well because they have anxiety when they line up together.
Yeah.
It's how Charlie Brooker met his wife. He got her to present a thing for Screen Wipe where they were curing men of their fear of weeing in public.
I mean, I would have definitely, if I had to like pee in front of other people, I'd have problems.
Yeah, well, the men do. See,
Yeah.
it's hard being
I mean,
a man.
that is
Yeah.
actually tough. I wouldn't want to whack my dingle out in front of other people.
Yeah, no, they do. Anyway.
So
what's
that was a good
got-
chat about energy systems. Why high intensity is good.
Sorry, I got distracted. But no, explain why high intensity is good. So,
No, I just did.
okay.
Because then the last system is oxygen.
Yeah.
So you want to stay in the first two systems so that you're using everything in your body to create energy rather than using oxygen for energy. So the reason that HIIT's good is because we don't just make up those times that you're working on your energy and your recovery time. It's so that you then restore back to the first system, and then we run you through the first two systems again, then let you have a break, reset, back to the start. And that's why you lose so much.
And it's why if you're in a class and it's just too much and you want to stop and you need to stop, it's better to put, if you're using weights, just put them down and carry on the movement.
Yeah.
Or just carry on any movement you can so that you don't get out of that cycle. Because it also is amazing for your cardio. It really is.
Yep.
Like, after doing, I was running and failing to run for ages, and not really getting over 1.5 miles without I can't. And then I started doing interval training, do 4 miles, it's fine.
That's there's a epoch.
Is there?
Yeah, it's called epoch. It's I've written it down because I keep forgetting because I kept getting it like the backwards. It's epic excess post exercise oxygen.
Ooh, epic.
What epic?
I think you have. That,
All right,
I suggest...
That's why I wrote it down. Excess post-oxygen exercise oxygen consumption. I don't know why I put epic.
So you...
Because I obviously thought it was
Well, you see,
epic.
the thing is, oxygen, breathing, that is where your energy's going.
Well, yeah, it's because...
That's calorie burn, is oxygen.
Yeah, that's what happens after you've done high intensity because your body's trying to return itself to its state that it was in pre-exercise. And when you've done high intensity, that can take anything from 24 to 48 hours.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was researching this earlier.
Whoa.
Because I knew about epoch. I don't know why I put epic.
I think
obviously
epic,
thought it was
'cause
epic.
Everything in your life is.
But yeah, I'd known about epoch, but I'm like, okay, well, what exactly is that doing?
Yeah.
And then I was like quite shocked actually that it was, oxygen consumed returns body to pre-existing state and it can last 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah.
I thought it was only 24 hours, but then
Well, up
science
to
says
40, yeah, but
up
if
to
you
48.
but that lucky
It-
girl can
but I mean,
just...
24 hours is still pretty decent to have like an extra calorie burn for like
Yeah.
15 minutes of work. Plus the fact that mentally for me, if someone says, right, we're going to work out as hard as you can for 15 minutes, I'm like, fine.
Yeah.
If someone said you have to go on a treadmill for an hour and a half, I'd be like, no, I'm going home.
Yeah. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Treadmills. Or even elliptical machines.
Elliptical.
Cross trainer.
Oh, so just like, why am I doing this?
Yeah, but if you're doing like I made my client do, I make her do kind of the CrossFit ones. So I do EMOMs, which is every minute on the minute.
Okay.
So that means that
You're doing interval training on...
yeah, so I might give you a minute to do 20 goblet squats. If that takes you a full minute to do, you get no rest, you go straight on to the next exercise. If it takes you 40 seconds, you get 20 seconds rest.
Woohoo!
So you have to, basically, you're doing them as fast as you can. And then
Yeah.
the next exercise might be like
What's
wall
the weight
balls,
of the goblet?
or like 20 kilograms.
Oh,
maybe.
God,
Something
that would
really
take
heavy.
me 45.
And then maybe like 20 wall balls. And then I'll make you do something like AMRAP, which is as many reps as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll do as many reps as possible of like 20-inch box jumps. And then that'll be like to failure.
Okay.
But that'll only be like those 3 exercises. And that'll take like 3 minutes. You might have a little bit of rest in between. Then I'll give you like a 2-minute rest. And then kick it again.
Yay.
And then you've only really worked out, as I said, for like 10 minutes. And then like
But-
she got like all that calories out.
That was horrible.
But like, because you know in your head that you've only got to do it for like that many minutes, it's way easier to do mentally.
I find the only way I get through that sort of stuff is just living in the moment.
Yeah, just getting it done.
Do not think about what's coming up.
Yeah,
That is the trick to everything.
just do what you're doing.
But I find it, like, I was in a class yesterday, I was in the kettlebell class.
I saw you in the kettlebell class. I was on the leg press machine. Killing myself.
I was in the kettlebell class, and there was just a couple of women next to me who just weren't.
Yeah, you have to have your head in the game.
I'm just like, dude, because I'm kind of feeling, well, I'm not doing this to show off. You know, but it's that gym confidence thing of just going, people are judging me because I'm doing what's...
Yeah, because I'm going hard, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, she's showing off. You're like, no, I'm in the gym trying to make gains.
Yeah.
I have to do this to make gains.
Exactly.
You're faffing about.
And I'm there just going, and can't breathe, and they're just going, I don't feel like it. I'm just like, oh, dudes, come on.
That's the problem as well, I find, with the fact our gym puts on free classes. Because some people just turn up and their heart's not in it, and you're like, because it's free.
Yeah, that is true. It's gigs like that with stand-up comedy as well.
Yeah.
More the audience invests. I once did a gig where they'd paid £50 a ticket, and I said hello, and they laughed.
They're like, we are determined to have a good time. We
Exactly.
are paid money for this.
Exactly. Anyway, I think that is enough.
Yeah.
So, well
drop
done,
my
special
coffee.
guests. We never worked out where you were from. We know it's London, really, but where is it?
Where I live now, or where I come
No,
from
where
originally?
you come from originally.
Where that voice is from.
Yeah.
Ottawa, Canada.
Canada. Oh, she's Canadian.
Canadian.
You like wood.
I don't even know what happened then.
That was me being Canadian.
Excellent.
That was good.
I didn't even pick that up, so that was
Anyway, we're going to have to do a 3-way high five, so this is going to be painful.
Word.
That's pathetic.
See you next week. Thanks for listening, but before you go, please spread the word about the podcast. Write us a review on iTunes, and we want your feedback. Go to womensfitnesspodcast.com or email womensfitnesspodcast@gmail.com. You can support us financially on Patreon, and also you can follow us. You can find Kelly Bakewell PT on Facebook and Instagram as @KellyBakewellPT, and you can find Izzi, that's me, on Instagram and Twitter as @Izzi_Lawrence, that is ISZI_LAWRENCE. Music by Boothby Graffo, available on bandcamp.com. We'll see you next week. High five on the internet.